Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really getting into a big one, Jack the Ripper.
That name still sends shivers down the spine, doesn't it?
It really does. We're focusing on London's East End, autumn 1888. We've got this historical overview source that details, the events, the victims, the police side of things.
And all the theories, of course.
Exactly. And our mission really is to sift through it all, try to move past the sensationalism.
Right. Understand the actual historical reality. What impact did it really have? It's amazing how these crimes, so localized, still capture the imagination.
Let's paint a picture first. Whitechapel, 1888. I mean, it sounds horrendous, stark poverty, terrible overcrowding.
Oh, the sanitation was appalling. You had
Yeah.
homelessness, rampant alcoholism, crime. It was rough.
And then there was the social tension, right, with the influx of Irish and Jewish immigrants.
Absolutely. That added another layer of friction to an already volatile mix. It was a desperate environment.
You read about things like the child mortality rate over half didn't reach age 5. Just staggering.
It really puts things into perspective. People relied on grim lodging houses. And many women, well, they were pushed into prostitution just to get by.
So this backdrop of just sheer deprivation and existing violence, that's where the Ripper emerges.
Precisely. And you can see why it caused such terror, such an intense reaction from society. The fear built on existing anxieties.
Okay, let's talk about the victims, the ones known as the canonical 5.
Marianne Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, and Mary Jane Kelly, all murdered between August 31st and November 9th, 1888.
Just a few months, and they were all women living really tough lives, weren't they?
Very precarious lives. Nichols, Chapman, Eddowes struggling with poverty, sometimes homelessness, relationships broken down. Stride, an immigrant with her own history of hardship.
And Kelly was the youngest, found in the most desperate state.
Yes. Now, that label prostitute often gets attached to all of them. It's worth questioning that. Well, while poverty might have forced some into sex work sometimes, historian Hallie Rubenhold, for example, argues applying that label universally dehumanizes them.
Right, like it lessens the tragedy somehow, or maybe even affected the police response.
It's possible. It shapes how we remember them, definitely.
And the way they were killed. The modus operandi is just brutal.
Chillingly consistent, for the most part. Throat slit first, then post-mortem abdominal mutilations, often organs removed.
Uterus, kidneys, even the heart in Kelly's case. But then you have Stride, who was found with just her throat cut.
That variation is puzzling, isn't it? Did the killer get interrupted? Was the motive slightly different? Or just less opportunity?
And the mutilations themselves. They sparked that whole debate about anatomical knowledge, surgeon or butcher.
Exactly. Did the killer have medical training or just, say, experience slaughtering animals? Arguments exist for both.
What about the psychology? What can we even guess at?
Well, piquerism, the sexual interest in cutting, seems likely. Also, a profound need for domination, for control over these vulnerable women. Deep misogyny, perhaps.
Profilers talk about organized versus disorganized killers, but
Yeah.
he seems a mix.
He does. Careful in some ways, perhaps frantic in others. The tentative profile usually suggests a white man, maybe 25 to 35, living or working locally. Possibly a loner, but maybe able to seem normal.
It sounds like a nightmare for the Victorian police to investigate.
Oh, completely. Think about it. No real forensic science. Fingerprinting wasn't routine. DNA was unheard of.
Plus, didn't they have issues with different police forces not cooperating?
Jurisdictional squabbles, yes. The Met Police and the City of London Police. And trying to gather reliable clues in Whitechapel itself, the chaos, the fear, unreliable witnesses, not enough officers.
And these papers weren't helping.
Far from it. Sensational headlines, fueling panic. It must have contaminated potential leads, created this atmosphere of hysteria.
Those Ripper letters, too, the Dear Boss one. Saucy Jackie.
And the From Hell letter, supposedly sent with half a kidney. Most are considered hoaxes now.
But they created the name, Jack the Ripper, didn't they? And tied up police resources.
I absolutely cemented the legend and became part of the terror. Early suspects often reflected prejudice, like Leather Apron, John Pizer.
Anti-Semitism was clearly a factor in some suspicions.
Yes. Then you have names like Montague John Druitt, Aaron Kosminski, Michael Ostrog, people the police actually considered at the time. Later theories got wilder royalty, famous artists.
But without much real evidence, right?
Very little credible evidence for those more sensational claims.
What about the recent DNA stuff? The shawl linked to Catherine Eddowes and Aaron Kosminski. That sounded promising.
It did, but it's highly controversial. There are big questions about the shawl's provenance where it's been for over a century. Contamination is a huge risk.
And the type of DNA analysis used, mitochondrial DNA.
Right, mtDNA. It's passed down the maternal line, so it can't pinpoint an individual like nuclear DNA. It can only link to maternal relatives. So it's suggestive at best, not conclusive proof.
So the mystery really does persist. Why do you think it endures so strongly?
Well, it's unsolved fundamentally. The sheer brutality is shocking even now. The whole Victorian London setting, fog, gaslight, poverty, it's incredibly atmospheric.
The failure of the authorities to catch him plays a part too, I suppose. The social commentary aspect.
Definitely. And the supposed new developments keep popping up. It fuels the whole industry. Books, films, tours, ripperology.
It's like the Ripper figure itself can be adapted to reflect whatever anxieties we have at the time.
Exactly. He becomes the symbol of the darkness hiding in society, the unknown threat.
So a final thought for you listening. Maybe the reason the Ripper story never truly dies is how it reflects our own fascination with the unknown, with evil. But also, maybe it's a reminder not to lose sight of the real women whose lives were so brutally cut short. Their stories matter more than the myth.